welcome to class. I hope you guys had a wonderful day last time, and now we're going to talk more about parabolas. Yay! Okay, so this is chapter 10.3, part 1. Last class, let's just do a recap. We learned how to graph parabolas when they're given in vertex form. So here we have our vertex is 2, -5. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right about there. And it's got a vertical stretch of 2, so instead of going up one, over 1, up 1, I'm going to go over 1, up 2. Over 2, up 4 becomes over 2, up 8. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that. And I'm just going to graph it. Ta-da! Alright, and I know that, let's see, that's 1, 3, 1, -3, and 3, -3, and 0, 3, yeah, and 4, 3. Looks good to me. Alright, so there we go. If we wanted to check, we could plug in the x values into the function and see if that gives us the right answers. So here we have a vertex of -1, -1, which is right here. I'm going to go up 1/2 instead of up 1, so that's over 1, up 1/2. Over 2, instead of going up 4, I'm going to go up 2. Over 3, up 9 goes over 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And there we go. That's our parabola. Ooh. I hope your graph looks better than mine. Please make it look better than mine. Alright, so we've got that. We've got 1, 1. We've got 3, -3, 1. We've got 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3.5. And yeah, -1, 2, 3, 4, 3.5. Okay? All right. Well, today we'll begin with to answer the question, well, what if we aren't given the vertex form of the equation? You're probably asking yourself that, because all we did last quarter was standard form. Well, the vertex form of a function is of the form f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k, where where h comma k is the vertex. Okay? And a is not equal to 0. Well, how do we get it in that form, you ask? Ah, this is something called completing the square. Do you remember this? We were just tested over it, remember? Like this past week? Alright, well, let's give it a try. So first we're going to fill in the blank with the number that would complete the square. Well, this right here, divide by 2 and square it, you would get 4. Divide b by 2 and square it, 9. Divide b by square it, you get 36. 100. Ooh, divide b by 2 and square it. That would be 49 over 4. Tricky, tricky! Well, now we can apply that skill to quadratic functions. So to complete the square, if there is an a, divide everything by a, write the equation in the form f of x minus c plus blank equals, f of x minus c equals x squared plus bx. Okay? Then complete the square and add it to both sides of the equation and factor the perfect square trinomial. And then move the constant back to the other side and you're done. Last time what you would have had to do was, take the square root of both sides, etc., solve. Well, this is actually a lot easier because you're not having to solve for x. So let's go ahead and complete the square. We're going to write the equation in vertex form by completing the square. So first step, divide by a. A is 1, that doesn't matter. So f of x, move the c over there. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. And I'm going to put a plus blank here, equals x squared plus 6x plus blank. Okay, now we have to complete the square. This I need to add 9 because divide 2 and square it and I get 9. I'm going to add it to both sides. So this becomes f of x plus 16 equals x plus 3 squared. Now subtract 16 from both sides and we get f of x equals x plus 3 squared minus 16. And there we go, there's our vertex form. We graphed it, we can graph it now. Alright, let's try another one. No a to divide by, so add 5 to both sides. So we get f of x plus 5 equals, plus blank, I'm going to put the plus blank there, equals x squared plus 8x plus blank. I'm going to have to complete the square, so to complete the square I need divide by 2 and square it, that's 16. So we get f of x plus 21 equals x plus 4 squared. Move back the 21 and we get x plus 4 squared minus 21. Ah, la 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 la. I love it. Okay, now this one's a little trickier because we have an a. So first let's divide everything by 2. Now this is tricky because f of x, we don't know what that is, so it's going to stay a fraction. So f of x divided by 2 equals x squared minus 2x plus 1/2. So we're going to subtract 1/2 from both sides. So that gives us f of x over 2 minus 1/2 plus blank equals x squared minus 2x plus blank. To fill in the blank, we have to add 1, because divide by 2 and square it, you get 1. So this becomes x minus 1 squared. And over here, we need to combine the two numbers here. Well, I have to have a common denominator, so that's 2 over 2, and that's negative 1/2. So that becomes positive 1/2, and that's f of x over 2. So I'm going to subtract 1/2 from both sides, so I have f of x over 2 equals x minus 1 squared minus 1/2. Now I have to multiply both whole sides by 2 to get f of x by itself. So that becomes f of x equals 2x minus 1 squared. I can't distribute that 2, it's just going to sit in front. Minus 1/2 times 2 is 1, and I'm done. Cool! Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to complete the square to find the vertex of the graph, and then we're going to just go from there. So first, divide everything by 2, and that gives us f of x over 2 equals x squared plus 3x minus 9/2. Move the 9/2 plus blank equals x squared plus 3x plus blank. Divide by 2 and square it. We have to add, let's see, that's 3/2, 9/4. Okay, and that would be x plus 3/2 squared. And over here we're going to have f of x over 2 plus, well, I've got to get a common denominator, so that would be 18 over 4 plus 9 over 4 is 27 over 4. So I'm going to move that 27 over 4 back over here. So f of x over 2 equals x plus 3/2 squared minus 27 over 4. And now we're going to multiply everything by 2. So that gives us f of x equals 2x plus 3/2 squared minus 27 over 2. Now this is a nasty one. So we've got 3/2. So that's negative 3/2 comma 27 over 2. And I'm going to write that as a mixed number so I know where to find it on the number line. And 27 over 2 is 13.5, which is not on this graph. So, I mean, it is on this graph. I could make it on this graph, but it would just be kind of nasty. So I'm not going to ask you to graph this one. All right, but I would ask you to potentially complete the square to get this. All right, this one we should be able to graph. Divide everything by a, which is -1. So I have f of x over -1, or times -1, equals x squared minus 8x plus 12. Right? Move the 12 over, so f of x, negative f of x, minus 12 plus blank equals x squared minus 8x plus blank. Fill in the blank, that's 16. So we have negative f of x plus 4 equals x minus 4 squared. Move back the 4, we get negative f of x equals x minus 4 squared minus 4, and then multiply both sides by a negative. So f of x equals negative x minus 4 squared plus 4. So my vertex is 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's down like a frown since a is negative. So instead of going over 1, up 1, I'm going to go over 1, down 1. Over 2, down 4. And that's what it looks like. Okay? Alright, let's look at this one. A is 1, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So f of x plus 9 plus blank, can't forget the plus blank, equals x squared plus 4x plus blank, and that's a 4. So add that to both sides. F of x plus 13 equals x plus 2 squared. Move the 13 back. And here we go. We've got our vertex is -2, -13, which is really far down. I know I have a y-intercept of -9 because that's here. My y-intercept comes from this. I could plug in points. So if I made this by 2's, that would be better. 2, -4, -6, -8, -10, -12, -14. So it's -2, -13. There we go. And instead of going over 1, up 1, I'm going to go over 1. Well, I am going over 1, up 1. So it's over 1, up 1. And it looks like 1/2 since my scale on the y-axis isn't 2's. Over 2, up 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, and it looks a little smushed, but that's because of the scale, so you just have to keep in mind what your scale is when you graph. Alright, well let's say you want to find the vertex without completing the square. Is there an equation for that, like there is the quadratic function? Well, of course there is! So let's find it. We're going to complete the square and actually find out what that is. So the first step is divide by a, so f of x over a equals ax squared plus b over a x plus c over a. Subtract c from both sides, so we have f of x over a minus c over a equals, plus blank. I need that plus blank. Plus blank equals x squared plus b over a x plus blank. Divide by 2 and square it. That's b squared over 4a squared. And now we can go ahead and factor this. This is x plus b over 2a squared equals, need a common denominator, so I need to multiply this one by 4, 4a. So this is f of x over a minus 4a over ac over 4a squared plus b squared. And I'm going to add that back over, so I have f of x over a equals x plus b over 2a squared plus 4ac plus b squared over 4a squared. And now I'm going to multiply both sides by a, x plus b over 2a squared plus 4ac plus b squared over, oh, that's a minus, isn't it? So it's b squared minus 4ac. There we go. So it's b squared minus 4ac over 4a. And this is our equation now. It's not very useful. But what is very useful is this x term here, right here. Okay, so this is telling us that the x-coordinate of the vertex is b over 2a, negative b over 2a. So the vertex of the quadratic function is negative b over 2a, and we're going to just put f of negative b over 2a, because that's what's going to be. And the axis of symmetry of the parabola is the line x equals negative b over 2a. So, if I can't find the vertex by myself, if I don't want to complete the square, I can find it, what the vertex is, by just finding negative b over 2a. Okay? So here we go. X equals negative b over 2a. And I'm just going to find that. Negative b is negative 3. 2 times a is 2 times negative 2. And that right there is equal to negative 3 over negative 4, which is 3/4. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and plug 3/4 back in. So f of 3/4 equals negative 2 times 3/4 squared plus 3 times 3/4 minus 1, which is negative 2 times 9 over 16 plus 9 over 4 minus 1. And we multiply that by 2, we get negative 9 over 8. Plus, I'm going to get a common denominator so I don't have to do this more than once. That's 18 over 8 minus 8 over 8. And that's negative 17 over 8. So this is 1/8 is my y value. So my vertex is 3/4, 1/8, which is not a very useful thing to graph. So in this situation, I would probably just plot points to find where that would be on the graph. But it does give me a general idea of where my function is going to be. So your assigned problems are on page 629, and you just need to work these, okay? And next time we're going to look a little bit more into this. So I will see you guys later. Bye.